I'm trying to figure out why, when single people post videos about how wonderful their lives are, they are incapable of doing so without mentioning that being married and having kids would completely destroy their ability to do all the things that they love. Because it's not true. Welcome to my channel, Outspoken Samantha. If you are new here, welcome. I would love it if you would hit that subscribe button. And if you're returning, welcome back. I truly do appreciate your continued support on my channel, and I hope that you are subscribed as well. So there seems to be this massive trend amongst, I don't know, Gen Z, Gen X, I have no idea what generation. The one that's like after millennials, or like the two that are after millennials, where they go about creating videos talking about how much they love being single and everything that they get to do because they're single, but they are unable to talk about how much they love their single life without dragging people who have kids into it and talking about how much more they get to do because they don't have kids or responsibilities or timeline of any kind. And I'm not saying that being single didn't have its perks, but you won't find a bunch of married people that post videos talking about how they're happy because they're not single. It just doesn't seem to go the other way. Why can't you just say that you had a wonderful day and got to do all the things that you wanted to do and spend time with your friends and just had that enjoyment in your life without saying, but if I had kids, life would suck. So this video went viral, but it's not just because of what she said, but because this is something that a lot of single people feel the need to do. And unfortunately, she was the target of the backlash for it. But I think we need to at least grant her some grace in understanding that she is not the only person who puts this idea out there constantly. So this whole video is about 1.5 minutes long. I'll play the whole thing. You guys can let me know what you think, and then I will respond to it after.
It's 10:45 a.m. on a Saturday. I am 29 and single, and I don't have kids yet. Here's what your Saturday morning looks like when you're single at 29 and you don't have a kid running around the house. I didn't rise from my bed until 10:15. Every time I thought, I should probably get up and do something. I thought, why? Nobody's making me. I'm not missing out on anything. I went to Beyonce last night, and I didn't get home until 1 a.m. And I danced and drank my little heart out, and I didn't pay a babysitter to watch my kids as I did that. And I woke up a tad hungover this morning, which is probably why I was in bed for so long. And I was just scrolling on my phone and I saw a picture of shakshuka and I thought, you know what sounds really good? Maybe I'm gonna learn how to make shakshuka today. Because I have no plans and I don't have kids and I don't have a husband and I don't have errands to run. I can go to the grocery store and learn how to make shakshuka. So that's on my agenda today. Also on my agenda, probably a rewatch of some Real Housewives of New York. I'm also doing a rewatch of Normal People on Hulu, which is really spicy and I highly recommend. Weirdly, I'm into this documentary on Netflix about blue zone countries. So I've got a pretty stacked day. Anyway, I say all this to say, whenever I'm hard on myself about why I'm not married and I don't have kids, and I should be further along at 29, almost 30, I wouldn't want to do anything else this Saturday. And I know that you can do all these things when you have kids and you're married, and I understand, but the effortlessness and ease of my life, just kind of focusing on myself and the shakshuka I want to make or the Beyonce concert I want to go to, really pays off when I'm hard on myself for not being where society tells me I should be in life.
Matt Walsh's little blurb above it says, her life doesn't revolve around her family and kids, so instead it revolves around TV shows and pop stars. Worst of all, she's too stupid to realize how depressing this is. That might be a little harsh. Okay, but first of all, there's nothing impressive about sleeping in until 10:15 when you are 29, almost 30 years old. Don't get me wrong. I like to take it easy in the morning when I can, and I don't have to get up and run around and get everybody ready for school and get myself ready for work. But about 7:30 is kind of my limit before I feel like I need to get up and get my day started. And she says why she didn't get up, because nobody needs me, nobody needs my time, nobody needs my attention, which doesn't that sound kind of sad? And she's smiling about it. Like, I can't count the number of times that in my head I'm thinking, because you're alone, because you're alone, because you're alone. Secondly, again, these people are incapable of talking about all of these things that they're doing without making being married and having kids sound like it would completely drag them down. She went to a concert, she drank her heart out, didn't get home until late, but the way she says it isn't like, I got to go to a concert with friends and that was the best part of my night. The best part was that I didn't have to pay a babysitter. Which is weird. If it were me, the best part would be that I got to go out and do something that I enjoy. I wouldn't feel the need to find a group to bring down in order to elevate my experience. Just say that you went to a concert and it was great and you had a good time. Period. Everyone will believe you. You don't need to talk about how terrible having to pay a babysitter would have been to make your night sound that much better. Third, she's like, I saw a picture of new food I wanted to learn to make, so I bought the stuff and I made it. Like, girl, there's nothing interesting about doing that. I find new foods all the time that I want to make, and I go to the store and I get the stuff that I want to make, and I make it. And shockingly, I don't need to talk about how terrible the lives of single people are for it to be something that I'm proud of. What she's referring to as a stacked day is sleeping in because of a hangover, making new food, and watching reruns of reality TV and documentaries. Please hold me back. Like, where do I put my children up for adoption so I can have your Saturday? And I do understand the last part of her message when she says that appreciating where her life is right now and finding enjoyment in all of these things is how she does make herself feel better when she is being hard on herself for not being where society says that she should be. But I'm not sure which society she's talking about, because in the year 2023, being single is pushed far more than being married is. But honestly, if she felt like it was society sending her those messages about where her life should be right now, then she wouldn't feel the need to put them in her video as a negative thing, because honestly, what she's responding to is her own natural instinct as a woman that makes her want those things. And that's why she does have to try so hard to convince herself that she's happy the way that she is. But unfortunately, being called out by Matt Walsh doesn't always bring a ton of positive attention. And of course, people flooded her TikTok account to tell her what a terrible person she is, which is honestly a ridiculous thing to do. Like, can we make ignoring people who say things we don't like normal again? So this is the video that she posted in response to the backlash that she got from her original video.
Hi, my name is Julia and I'm 29 and single. Yesterday, someone named Matt Walsh decided to repost a TikTok video that I posted to his 2.4 million followers on X, formerly known as Twitter. And the way that his followers bullied me in the comments, reached out to me on social media, threatened me, was honestly abhorrent. Some of his followers said that I was gonna die alone, I should actually die and never leave my house, I should be sexually assaulted, I'm pathetic, I'm a whore, and that I was dead behind my eyes. Honestly, that one kind of made me laugh because I use Kosas concealer and I thought that it was working. No, but really, if you haven't watched the video, I suggest you watch it. It's all about how I, a 29-year-old single female, decided to spend my Saturday watching reality TV, learning how to cook shakshuka, and sleeping in until 10 a.m. And these people were really riled up about my choices on a Saturday.
There's low-key gaslighting going on right here. You can't just pretend that all you did was post a video about the choices that you made on a Saturday when you know full well that's not what happened. If you had just posted a video that said, I'm going to make some food that I want to make after I slept in and went to a wonderful concert, and then I'm going to sit down and enjoy the food that I made and watch reruns of my favorite reality TV show, nobody would have criticized you for that, and you know it. You conveniently forgot to include that you slept in because you didn't have anybody waking you up, that you were able to make shakshuka because you didn't have anybody to be responsible for, and that you were able to sit down and watch your favorite Real Housewives shows because you didn't have to share your time with anybody else. And you were so excited about the concert that you got to go to and the fact that you did not have to pay a babysitter to make it happen. So it's not the choices that you made on a Saturday that's the problem, it's the fact that you actively had to go out of your way to take digs at people that are married and have children in order to make your Saturday sound that much better. And I really am sorry that people were going into your comments and sending you messages that were absolutely abhorrent and inexcusable. But if you want to talk about online bullying and the threats that people receive because of their positions that people disagree with, try being Matt Walsh for a day. He has to walk around with 24/7 security for his family and for his home and for himself because of what people on the left say to him and threaten him with on a daily basis. Let's continue.
Here's the thing about social media. While it can be a really crazy place, which I experienced yesterday, it's a place where there's content for everyone. Here's who I'm creating content for. I'm creating content for people who are taking their time creating the lives that they want for themselves. Because it's the life that they want, not something that society has deemed correct.
There you go, taking those little digs again, implying that people are married and have kids because it's something that society has deemed correct.
Feeling anxious in life because they haven't met their person yet or started a family, aren't rushing or settling to meet someone because some internet troll is telling them that they're going to die alone. And you know what? There's a 40 to 50% divorce rate in the US. And I believe that figuring out who you are first and foremost and meeting your partner at that point is going to decrease that divorce rate. And if you're lucky enough to have the family and friends and support that I do, none of us are going to die alone. And I believe that we're all going to meet our people and we're going to do it living life by our own terms.
And all of that is perfectly fine. Yes. Take your time. Figure out who you are, figure out what your interests are, become confident in yourself, establish your goals, become the best version of yourself that you can be. And don't make rash decisions about your life based on what you think other people expect you to do. But that's not what you were saying in your video.
Life's too short to be living life figuring out what Matt Walsh wants us to do, or what some internet troll behind their keyboard is saying. If anyone is wondering, the shakshuka I made was delicious, and I'd love to share the recipe if anyone's interested.
I won't be able to make the shakshuka because my kids are running around and ruining my life. And I just have to throw this clip in here because Candace Owens went on the Whatever podcast, which is beyond amusing to me because she absolutely raised the IQ level significantly in the entire room. This particular video by this individual that Matt Walsh had circulated was actually brought up in the conversation, and I think it was kind of interesting what Candace Owens had to say.
Let's not pretend this is one video that she made. It's her brand on TikTok. It's her brand on social media. She talks about these are this community known as dinks. We're happy and we're childless. She talks about how great it is to be childless. So she has developed she's a social media influencer that talks about childlessness. So let's not pretend this is one woman making a video who just said, oh, I had a great Saturday. There's absolutely no reason if you had a great Saturday at 29 years old and you learned to make shakshuka and you slept in at 11 until 11:15 or 10:15, whatever she said, that you need to bring up children. There's absolutely no reason. You just say, here's what I did today. I laid in all day. I did this. I did that. The fact that she has to correlate it to saying, and this somehow makes me better than people that have children is the problem. She literally goes on to talk about not having children. It wasn't necessary in this video. So it's not like people are just shaming single women on the internet. You could go on right now and talk about what you've done all day, and there's no reason to bring up, having a child or not. She's actually doing the shaming, and now we're trying to pretend that she's the victim. She's not. She has a brand where she talks about childlessness and she talks about leaning into selfishness and all the things that are amazing about not having children. Again, this is not the first video that she's produced. So the reason why, and if you're a man watching this, don't marry this woman. She's basically telling you she's selfish. She's telling you she's a narcissist. Everything she says is about me, 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 me. Even if you're single, you don't have to make your whole day revolve around you.
So I want to talk about what I did on my Saturday. I went to bed around 10:30 p.m. because a good night's sleep feels so much better than a hangover. I woke up around 6:30, 7 o'clock, but because it wasn't a school or work day, I was able to take my time getting out of bed. My kids are old enough to get their own breakfast and entertain themselves in the morning, because unlike what most single people seem to think, kids don't stay whiny, loud, drooling, dependent, helpless babies and toddlers forever. But then it started to gnaw at me that I had spent enough time in bed being lazy, and I got up to start accomplishing things. My 7, 10, and 12-year-olds all heard me get up, and they ran into the living room to give me giant hugs. My oldest son told me about a weird dream he had, my middle son told me he loves me, and my daughter asked if I would sit with her on the couch to watch some random video she was giggling about, and I wasn't all by myself. We all had breakfast together, and then everyone kind of did their own thing for a little bit while I cleaned up and took a shower, watched an hour of a documentary while I got myself ready, and then chatted with my husband. Still not alone. We decided that since we hadn't been to this fun event center that's in our area, and we'd been wanting to try it for a while, that we would just all pile in the car together and try something new as a family. We spent a few hours checking out different shops, trying new food. My kids got to sit on a bowl. We sung along to overhead music, took lots of pictures, and then we headed home to a house that was not empty. We all then separated for a little bit to do our own things, then came back together to eat dinner, watch a movie, and put the kids to bed. I still had time to watch another episode of a docuseries that I have been getting into. Then I read a bit of a book and went to bed. Again, not alone. But my goal is not to make single people feel bad, because I know that you can do all of these things when you're single. But during those moments when I wish I had a few more minutes of peace and things get to feel a little overwhelming and chaotic, I remind myself of all of the fun that I just had, how much I was needed and loved all day, that I spent another day literally raising human beings, and I started the day in an environment of love that my husband and I have worked to create, and I ended the day in that same environment, and I tell myself it could be a lot worse. I could have had a Saturday where I was completely alone, and the most exciting thing that I did was make shakshuka and watch reruns of Real Housewives. Don't dish it out if you can't take it. I would love to know your thoughts on this in the comments below. Please like this video, make sure that you are subscribed. If you feel so inclined, there is a little thanks button just below this video that you can clip if you feel like donating to the channel in any way. Otherwise, I will see you in the next one. Bye.